Greetings! Welcome to this guide on Tier 7 relics in RuneScape 3 Leagues 2 Equilibrium. The last tier, Tier 7, is unlocked at 20,000 League points. The Tier 7 relics are power-ups for combat. Recall that relic picks are permanent, so pick carefully. Before we get into the relics, let's look at the passive effects at Tier 7. Certain rare drops are of a maximum chance of 10 times as common, so it's worth delaying PVM grinds until Tier 7. The advanced time spell no longer has a cap, so you can cast it repeatedly in a short amount of time to speed up activities running in the background, such as farming crop growth. At Tier 7, you pick one relic out of the following three: Infernal Fire, Naragi Edict, and Icyenic Faith. Infernal Fire is an offensive combat relic, similar to old school RuneScape's Executioner relic. Infernal Fire gives you the Icyenic Star, a pocket slot item. When carried in your inventory or worn, melee, magic, and ranged, in addition to necromancy, are guaranteed to trigger the Death Mark effect. Death Mark instantly finishes off a target at 20% or less of their maximum life points. After that, you get 5% extra adrenaline. The relic is most useful at bosses such as Beastmaster Durzag for skipping lengthy enrage phases at the end of a fight. The Icyenic Star's stats are plus 18.7 damage in each combat style, and plus 15 prayer bonus, making it the best offensive pocket slot item in the game. Naragi Edict is a relic that's a balance of offensive and defensive, similar to old school RuneScape's Last Stand relic. Naragi Edict gives you the Sliver of Edicts. You can activate it from your inventory to heal for 10k life points over 4.2 seconds, 4 times in a row for a total duration of 16.8 seconds. During this time, your combat stats are boosted to 255, so there's a limited amount of time to deal massive DPS. If your life points drop to 0, the Sliver of Edicts revives you back to full health, like having a free sign of life. Presumably, the revival triggers automatically. The Sliver of Edicts has a 90-second cooldown before it can be reused, so the healing is just over 400 life points per second, on average. The Sliver can be worn as a pocket slot item with plus 300 armor, plus 14 damage bonus in each combat style, and plus 1500 life points, making it the best defensive pocket slot item in the game. Icyenic Faith is a rebalanced version of last League's Everlasting Faith relic. Icyenic Faith gives you the equipable Tome of the Icene. Instead of Everlasting Faith's Infinite Prayer, the Tome has a plus 50 prayer bonus, the highest of any item in the game by far. Prayer drain rate is reduced by a percentage equal to prayer bonus, so equipping the Tome by itself already halves prayer drain rate. Your critical strike chance and base ability damage is increased by 0.2% of your prayer bonus. At a maximum prayer bonus of plus 125, based on the RuneScape Wiki's maximum, the critical strike chance and base ability damage are increased by 25%. Protection prayers and deflect curses block an extra plus 50% of damage. Where these prayers or curses are ordinarily 50% effective, they become 100% effective, like in old school RuneScape. Where they're ordinarily ineffective, they become 50% effective. While they're active, they act as if Soul Split is also active, so you can heal while avoiding damage without needing to prayer flick. Let's compare the relics. Infernal Fire's purpose is to finish off monsters faster, as if they only have 80% of their usual life points, and boost general DPS. The relic boosts DPS in several ways, through the Icyenic Star's best-in-slot offensive bonuses, and by dealing scaling damage against targets at 20% of their life points. The optimal strategy is to use this relic against monsters with large health pools, such as Solak with 8 million life points. To get these bosses down to 20% health faster, keep the Icyenic Star equipped rather than in your inventory. Naragi Edict's purpose is to periodically heal while dealing burst damage and cheat death. While the Sliver of Edicts is active, the relic boosts DPS by buffing your combat stats as much as the Stone of Chaz, and saves adrenaline by reducing reliance on food. The optimal strategy is to use the relic in situations where you take high DPS, such as Ripper Demons and Zuck with their one-shot mechanics. Whenever the sliver of edicts is off cooldown, unequip it just to activate it and immediately re-equip it for the defensive bonuses until the next time it's off cooldown. Icyenic Faith's purpose is to reward you for using prayer equipment and heal while avoiding damage from combat styles as opposed to typeless damage. The relic boosts DPS by boosting critical strike chance and base ability damage, scaling with prayer bonus. The soul split effect packed into deflect curses encourages using them to reflect some of the damage dealt back to the opponent. Similar to Naragi Edict, the relic saves adrenaline by reducing reliance on food. The optimal strategy is to keep the Tome of Icene equipped for maximum prayer bonus. Given the significantly lower prayer drain rate, bring just a small number of prayer restoring potions, for example 1 6-dose super prayer flask and 1 6-dose prayer renewal flask. The relic doesn't work against typeless damage, so bring an extra source of sustain beyond the soul split effect. In conclusion, which relic you pick depends on personal preference. Factors to consider are your playstyle and any synergy with other relics, areas, and combat blessings. There's no one right choice. Veteran PVMers focused on DPS and PvPers may prefer Infernal Fire. The relic is significantly more powerful offensively than the other two. Intermediate PVMers who are interested in balancing DPS and survivability may prefer Naragi Edict. The relic can be used strategically to clear DPS check phases of bosses and effectively gives you a second life in case of human error. Novice PVMers focused on survivability, with the Tier 3 Eternal Sustenance combat blessing, as well as skillers using Serum prayers, may prefer Icyenic Faith. The relic amplifies the effectiveness of protection prayers and deflect curses up to pre-EOC levels. Not needing to prayer flick at bosses saves you to focus on other aspects of the fight. Eternal Sustenance, combined with praying against combat styles correctly, and built-in soul split healing, may be enough to out-heal any typeless damage on top of other damage, except for one-shot mechanics. Skilling with Seren prayers benefits from significantly reduced prayer drain rate. For other players, I would rank the relics in ascending order of how much PVM experience they require to use effectively, with Icyenic Faith first, requiring the least experience, Naragi Edict second, requiring more, and Infernal Fire third, requiring the most. If you're interested in more content like this, then be sure to let me know by subscribing, leaving a comment about what you like and most look forward to, or liking and sharing the video. Hitting the bell icon on the subscribe button helps you to stay up to date with my latest content. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.